Job 23, some lovely words from Job here. When he, God, has tried me, I shall come forth like gold. And he is alluding to how the goldsmith took the dirty bit of rock, where the gold is, and puts it in the fire and heats it until the dross disappears and this beautiful yellow metal appears. And they say that the goldsmith used to actually test it in the fire until he saw his own face reflected in the molten gold. So Job is saying, yeah, I'm just a dirty piece of rock. And all these trials that have come into my life are to actually get the dross out of me. Now, this idea of trial and tribulation being like the fire that is refining is used quite often in the prophets about how God tried to refine his people Israel and Judah. But the great tragedy of the history of the Jewish people is that there was so much tribulation, so much heat of fire, and yet the dross was not taken out of them. And it can be the same in our lives. You've probably known people who've had terrible lives. Everything's gone totally wrong. And yet they still do not come to Jesus Christ. And clearly that was God's intention. So then, be responsive. See that there's stuff in you that is dross, a lot of it, and it's got to be removed. And the purpose of God's hand in our lives is to remove that dross. But if you approach life that, well, I'm awesome, I'm a jolly good fella, and, there's all the rest of them, I myself am a good guy, well, you won't get it. You just won't get it. You won't see the purpose of what you're suffering. You will blame your suffering on others. Oh, I'm just a victim. Get out of the victim mentality that I'm just the victim of some, drive-by shooting kind of thing. I'm just a random guy who's suffering. No, all that is in God's hands, and you've got to recognize that it's in order to purify you and for God to see his face reflected back to him in you.